Now, Katsina State Governor Diko Rada says only 32 police officers are patrolling one local government area in the state. But in an interview, Rada said the local government area comprises 10 wards and over 200 villages. He said among the 32 officers, only 9 guns are available, with just 5 operational. That's 5 of the 9 guns available are actually operational. Well, earlier in February, bandits reportedly killed the commander of the Katsina Community Watch Corps, 7 watchmen, and some residents in Kankara local government area. The governor's comments has drawn questions about the government's ability and preparedness to combat insecurity. Let's bring in Patrick Agbambu, who is President and CEO of Security Watch Africa Initiatives. Thank you very much for joining us on News Night.
Thank you.
Well, the UN standard, the United Nations standard for police population ratio is 1 to 400, 450, thereabout.
No, but it's even stepped down a bit now to about 300 because of the need, because of the time we are now, a lot of security challenges.
And here we're hearing from the Katsina State Governor that only 32 police officers are actually manning all 200 villages in one local government area in his state. What do you think of that?
It's actually a shame. It's a shame. It's a problem that has been over the years. The police, as we speak today, do not have enough manpower across the country. The need to draw more personnel to the Nigerian police has not gotten that attention that it actually deserves. Yes, we just saw about some hundreds got commissioned into the Nigerian police from the the police academy in Udil, Kano State, but that is insignificant compared to the strength that is required to be able to meet the time we are now, the challenging time we are now. It's a shame, really. And
with the level of insecurity across the country, now you have an election to take care of. Yeah. We just heard from Egbetokun, the IG, that 35,000 police boots will be on ground to man one election. Yes. Now imagine that taken out of the, how many do we have right now? About 370,000 to take care of the whole country. Yes. We've heard from Egbetokun that actually the 10,000 being recruited, Nigeria needs more, as many as 20,000 yearly. Yearly, that's true. To meet the UN target. To meet the UN, but which will be over time, not even in the next 5 years or 10 years. I'd say, because it will take us far more energy, strength in terms of mobilizing Nigerians. We have so many Nigerians who need to join the security services to be able to offer their support. Whatever strategy that is on ground has not worked so far. Recently, the police cried out because in some parts of the country, people are not accepting to be recruited into the Nigerian police force, and that is also creating a problem. Do we know why they're not accepting? Some have said it's ideology, especially from the southeast and some part of southwest, having in mind the agitations and what is the threat that some people who serve in those states we are being killed by these criminals that are taking over most of the states in the southeast and other places. So there's this fear that if I join, it's like I'm going to join the enemy. And so I rather don't join. Parents are discouraging their wards and their children from joining any of the security services. So it's actually a very big problem that needs a collective solution for us to be able to get away and be able to get even that 10,000 recruitment, because we're not even getting it so far. Every year we don't have up to 5,000, and that is a big problem. But can you really achieve that number, the ideal, based on UN recommendation? Or in
these modern times, is it boots on the ground that you really need, or the deployment of technology?
Yeah.
Say, for example, legislating the use of CCTV
Yes.
on every, public space or place, or on every street. Can't that take care of the security challenges to a large extent?
But you need boots to be able to man these technologies also.
Right.
And it's because they don't operate themselves. So even when you have a CCTV and you have a control room, you need people to be able to monitor it 24 hours, and you need people to be able to respond if there are crises. So you still need manpower to be able to do all this. But again, technology in our own society may not be effective because of lack of infrastructure. In most of the terrains, most of the places, like where the governor is talking about. I've visited that local government. I know that I know the challenge that is there because assessing some of those local governments is quite discouraging for some people to go. And one of the problems why you have this lesser number is that even when some officers or men are being posted to some of these communities, they don't want to go because some of them are extremely rural communities. Some people want to serve, most people want to serve in at least urban or semi-urban communities. So you have lesser manpower in those kind of communities than you see in the urban communities and all that. So that is also creating problem of a shortage of manpower in some of these places. And incidentally, these are the places that are more vulnerable because these bandits and these criminals found the safer haven in those areas.
Well, the lack of willingness on the part of citizens to join the police, especially be deployed in the rural areas, does it speak to the issue of lack of welfare? They don't have confidence that the police will actually take care of them, where it matters. Let's talk about how to ramp up, how to get the kind of police and the policing that Nigeria needs today.
Yeah, there is this belief, and which is true, that the society gets the police it deserves.
Right.
Generally, in the country, there is this apathy when you talk about police, and some people will tell you, say, I don't want to be in the security services, but even if I have to, they will select those that will not be so much of a challenge to them. Some have said because policemen are corrupt. So they have a lot of curses on their neck, so they don't want to serve there. So we have had all these things as part of the situation in terms of also the welfare, like you talked about. The outlook of some of the police personnel we see on our streets actually will not be encouraging enough for somebody to want to join the police because of that. So in the past, people used to join security services, police and all that, based on attraction, the passion, but today...
And the patriotism.
Yes. But today, people join these services because they don't have any other thing to do. So they don't even have the passion to do the work they are doing.
And over time, the police seems to have been weakened with the balkanization of the police, pulling out different agencies, different departments out of the police.
Yes.
Is it a deliberate thing to weaken the Nigeria police? How can it be strengthened?
You see, this I will have to go back to before the 1979 democracy, when the then president Shehu Shagari made an attempt to strengthen the Nigerian police force by equipping them, encouraging them. But when the military came in 1983 to 1984, they realized that a very strong police would be a challenge. And there was this attempt to weaken the police. And that was when we started experiencing different departments leaving the police, the road safety, the NDLEA, this used to be part of the police. Yeah. Then EFCC later part, which used to be part of the special fraud unit of the Nigerian police. We have had some department of police, like the CID department, people used to fear the CID of the police.
Yes.
Well, we have seen it being weakened also and all that. So it's actually a way not to have a very strong police, you know, but in doing that, you are creating more problem for the society. Some of the people who are in position of authority feels that I want a police that will be subservient, police that will answer anytime I call them.
Well, that's why we have police protecting VIPs, protecting politicians and what have you. And every IGP that's come on board has actually threatened to, you know, withdraw these police officers from VIPs. But at the end of the day,
it won't work.
Doesn't work.
It doesn't.
Patrick Agbambu, CEO, Security Watch Africa Initiative. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.